So before going ahead to represent third-party sales on SAP system, let me try to show you one time how the stock is removed from our inventory for our material. So let's take an example. Let's try to raise a sales order by using this document type for delivering the stock. So let's enter the customer and enter the material for one box. So before that, let me show you what is the stock against this plant. So our material is 200 and the plant is 1 CH and your storage location is sale. So the currently stock in this report, we can see what is the existing stock. So now currently the stock is available 865, okay, for 200 material. So let's try to create sales order for this material, okay, for one box. So your one box is equal to 5 pieces. How the stock will be reduced, that we can see now, okay. So now let me show you the sales order. So here let's remove this material and re-enter. So let's enter the material and let's put it one box. So let's try to recreate again because previous settings were there for material. To see the regular unrestricted stock, how it will be moved, we will see one time. This already we have seen. Let's put it. So your GTTN is equal to your 10. Okay. Let's try to remove the block from schedule lines. So let's go and check incomplete log. So document is complete. So let's try to check here one more time. What is the stock against one box equal to 5 pieces. So let's try to do the delivery now. So maybe let me try to increase the date. It may be 3rd October. Okay, delivery quantity is 100. It is saying let's go and try to increase the quantity. Maybe 20 boxes. Let me keep it here. So 20 boxes equal to, let's click, and it is equal to 5 into 20. That means 100 pieces it need to be reduced. Okay, let's try to deliver it. Let's go and pick these 20 boxes. So by using 601 moment type, that means we are sending the stock outside. Let's try to fix this issue. Give me a moment. What is the error means? If you get such kind of error because your cost center integration is there, if it is missing, then you can able to do the certain settings. So let me try to show you the transactions, what needs to be done. If you go here for whatever the company code you have, for that you have to assign the required cost center. Okay, and for that there is something called KA01. Okay, KS01. So here you have to create the cost center. This is the cost center we have created. So let me show you the cost center KS02. If you see here, these are the details need to be filled here. Hierarchy is automatically, it will be picked by your system. So you have to choose the cost center category. When it comes to practice, this needs to be done by your FI consultants. After that, you have to make the assignments. Now let's try to do our delivery again. So I just picked the total quantity. Your picking status shows. Let's click the post goods issue. Now let's try to check your stock. Previously, your stock is what I would show you. Let me show you that one. Previously, your stock is showing 865. 865 means, so 20 boxes into 5. That means 100 pieces it need to be reduced. Let me refresh. So now it become 865. So like this, you can able to reduce the stock and remove the stock from your inventory whenever you are trying to do the your regular OTC process. When it comes to third party sales, you need not reduce the stock from this inventory. The stock will be delivered by your vendor externally, so that you will have an adjustment through incoming invoice with your company, and for with your customer, being a company, have an adjustment with your customer with F2 invoice. That we are going to see. Let's try to concentrate on what kind of settings we required to perform your third party. Okay, third party sales. So first you go to, first we try to understand what is the basic difference between your item categories. So since your TAN is trying to remove the stock from your inventory, then if the stock need not to be removed from your inventory, then what needs to be done? So what is the basic difference between your TAN and TAS? Let's try to understand this. So your standard item delivery will be done by in your OTC. So that's why you have billing relevance is delivery related A. But whereas TAS, whatever the vendor is supplied, against that stock, it need to be billed to your customer. Order related billing document status according to the invoice quantity. So if you clearly observe, TAS, F will be assigned. This is the only key difference between your TAN and TAS. Otherwise, if you don't want to bill against your delivery, so your TAS and TAN both are equal. So that means stock is always delivered by your vendor. This is one of the significance. Now let's try to go to see the uh, item category determination. So if you go for ZOR1, GOR, what do you call GOR1, right? Our document. So GOR1, so if you'd like to do the regular stock removal from your inventory, you are using 10. In the similar way, if the stock is delivered by your vendor, then you have to use the TAS as an item category for your item category determination. If you observe clearly, you have a couple of differences are there. Norm is for your standard materials, bans is for your third party materials, which actually directly delivered by vendor to your customer. This is one of the key difference between your norm and bans. Whenever you would like to consider your material as a third party material, you have to assign item category group as bans. So now let's try to check schedule and category. So for your regular CP, if you take inventory stock, when you are removing, you are using movement type called 601. Okay. Similarly, there is something called CS. CS is for your third party materials. For third party materials, you are not removing the stock from your inventory. That's why you don't have any moment type. This is one of the key setting you have to observe when you compare with your CP and CS, schedule and category. So this CS is determined means you are not going to create delivery from your inventory. Let's try to understand what is this order type. If you see CP, you don't have this order type. That means when you save the sales order, automatically purchase requisition will be created. So this is internal setting. This is the document type. At MM side, they will use for purchase requisition creation. So once purchase requisition will be created, that will be converted into PO. Okay, so that means your vendor will get an order how much the stock he need to be delivered, whatever the customer raised and a sales order. Okay, so this item category, if you see third party, like your sales order, how item category determined, like that in your MM also, there is there are certain way of integrating your SD with MM. You have to choose in standard. Third party means uh, the item category determination for your purchase requisition. This is one of the key difference between your SD and MM. So when you copy that, system automatically will not know. You have to choose this item category 5. And there is something called account assignment category. Account assignment category means whatever the revenue it is generated for your third party sales. Again, I mean, in intervention with your MM, that need to be get adjusted. So that's why, so there is separate account assignment category for the values posting at vendor side. Now let's try to check what SAP talks about item category. If you see, the item category controls the following entries, like material number. If any material number is copying from your sales order to purchase requisition, and account assignment when you are doing goods receipt, such cases, and invoice receipt. So inventory management, all these factors it is going to control. So when you don't copy from your sales order to purchase requisition, automatically your system will not perform all these things, because material need to be found. And what kind of material is that? If they found it is a third party inventory material, they have a different way of calculating the stocks for their posting and all. So these are the factors need to be considered. Okay, in standard system, normal category requires for goods and invoice receipts. On the other hand, items like consignment category, this order for consignment material, invoice receipts are not allowed. Like there is something called they wanted to basically try to find the difference between uh, your uh, your difference between at the time of doing goods receipts and invoice receipts. So they would like to get differentiate the valuation for their accounting, and as well as their receipt stock against with their consignment. So that's why you have to assign item category here. So there is next something comes up like this is a separate way of calculating your stock. If you see, that will be posted into separate cost center. There is something called auxiliary account. Okay, auxiliary account means that is not like your regular revenue. If your inventory, if it is whatever you are purchasing from your vendors, you are manufacturing, you are sending is different, but you are here you are asking to directly deliver from your vendor to customer. Such cases you need a differentiation. So the account assignment category, which can be specified and maintained in schedule and category, only concerns schedule line relevant for purchasing. This schedule line specifically relevant for purchasing. That's how you need to have a differentiation to calculate the valuation of the stock. It is account assignment category for purchase requisition that need to be created. When you created purchase requisition, it required item category what kind of material you are creating, sourcing, and what kind of uh, valuation, what kind of approach for valuation for your stock. So both the cases you require this. So it must be strictly differentiated from account assessment category of the sales order item, which is derived from the requirement class. So this requirement class, it is part of your what do you call availability check. I will explain there what exactly it is. So basically it is trying to consider your account system is different from your regular sales account determination. In purchase level also you have something called account determination. These are the key settings it need to be done. So when you try to observe either your CP and CN, you will not have all these settings. This is all about your schedule and category. Now let's try to after item category determination, you just try to understand few important settings what we needed actually. Let's go to the SPRO and go to the enterprise structure. You have to define in material management purchase organization that is required. And when it goes to assignment, go to material management again. You have to do either one of the setting. When you are purchasing your goods, it need to be evaluated against which company code. That's why you require purchase organization 1 CHM against the company code 1 CHM. So this is purchase department, which is basically responsible for the buying goods. So for purchase activities for your customers or for sometimes your company also. So if one purchase organization is assigned to one company code, this is the centralized way of handling. So that means this purchase organization is responsible for all the plans which is falls under this company code can able to take the activities on. So this is how you have to create your purchase organization. Suppose your purchase organization is different from plant to plant, then individually for plant you have to assign here. So it's a business scenario from side, so we did not worry about that. After this setting, let's try to create a vendor now, because vendor need to be delivered stock whatever the order received for the company. So like so for vendor centralized data xk1. So how we have xd01 for centralized customer data. So here we can find company code data, uh, whereas purchase organization means your purchasing data. Account group means the account group, which is how in SD how it controls number ranges and field selection parameters. Here also it will controls in the similar manner. So in vendor basically you will find three kind of data: general data, purchase data, company code data. If you go for customer, we will find the similar kind of data like general data and company code data, but we will find a sales area data. Here we are finding purchasing data. That is only difference. When you are doing sales, you required uh, what are the fields you required for your billing tab and shipping tab and sales tab. In the similar way, purchasing side, for buying whatever the tabs we needed, that will be part of your purchase data. So whatever the purchase organization we defined here, let's go to the account group. Let's select the standard account group. Let's press enter. So try to create some vendor. So let's try to create a vendor, Josh, and 1 CHM. This is the general part. The vendor located in Germany and the country is DE and it is from Hamburg. Let's try to fill all mandatory fields. How we have reconciliation account in customer, in the similar way we required for our account posting. Let's choose the payment terms, and euro terms of payment is this one, Let's click Hamburg. This is for euro Incoterms. So now if you see, so vendor is for buying and good supplier means basically, he is supplying so that we are receiving goods. So he is the supplying, like, how we have ship to party for receiving, like that is supplier for sending. So invoice party means the person who is sending the incoming invoice. So let's save this. Now created, the vendor number is, let's try to copy this one with the name of Josh. We have created this vendor. So for vendor, what are the important settings it needs to be done? Okay, one is ME01. So we have to tell that for this vendor, from this plant, the material need to be procured. That's how we need to maintain the source list. If you go here, let's try to put it our vendor 1CHM. So let's try to generate this. So valid from, I'm creating this one. Valid to, you can give the maximum. Okay, this is how you have to generate. So let's try to delete this one. So our vendor will procure this material. Okay, so the validity will be the maximum. So source list basically used to source material from for certain plant. So you have to buy the stock for certain plant by using this purchase organization. We are going to see the remaining settings in the next following session. Okay, so basically if you see the source list, we got a couple of vendors, but we are using this vendor for our settings. Okay, now let's try to create further settings in next session.